Story by Officer Daniel Malone. It was a bone-chilling night, the kind where even the moon hid behind the clouds, as if afraid of what lurked beneath. I, Officer Daniel Malone, patrolled the desolate streets of Hollowbrook, a town known for its eerie tales and haunted history. It was a place where superstitions were often born out of sheer necessity, and the locals whispered stories of malevolent spirits that thrived in the darkest corners. As I cruised in my squad car, my partner, Officer Sarah Harris, scanned the gloomy surroundings with her flashlight, her eyes reflecting her unease. "This place always gives me the creeps, Dan," she admitted. I couldn't help but chuckle, attempting to lighten the mood. Well, it wouldn't be Hollowbrook without a good ghost story, right? Just then, the radio crackled to life. Dispatch informed us of a disturbance at the old Hollowbrook mansion, a decrepit mansion perched on the outskirts of town. The locals swore it was cursed, and legends claimed that anyone who entered would never return. As we approached the mansion, dread filled the pit of my stomach. The mansion stood tall, its once grand facade now worn and crumbling. Ivy crept up its walls like sinister fingers, while the wind whispered secrets through its shattered windows. "Ready for this, Sarah?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. Sarah nodded, gripping her flashlight tighter. "Let's do it." We stepped out of the car, and the chill in the air seemed to intensify. The mansion's front door creaked open with a foreboding groan as if inviting us to enter its abyss. The house was a labyrinth of dilapidated hallways and rotting wood. We navigated through the darkness, guided only by the dim beam of our flashlights. The silence was oppressive, save for the occasional scuttling of unseen creatures. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the house, causing my heart to pound in my chest. We sprinted toward the source, finding a terrified woman huddled in a corner, her eyes wide with terror. "What happened here?" I demanded, my voice shaking. She stammered, I don't know. I was exploring the house, and something grabbed me. It was ice cold, like death itself. Before we could react, an unsettling presence filled the room. The air grew frigid, and I could see my breath. Then, a flickering apparition emerged from the shadows. It was a figure in tattered rags, its face obscured by darkness. "Who are you?" I called out, my voice quivering. The figure extended a skeletal hand, pointing towards a corridor. Without a word, it vanished, leaving an icy trail in its wake. We exchanged glances, unsure of what to make of the supernatural encounter. But duty compelled us to follow the apparition's lead. As we entered the corridor, a ghastly portrait of the mansion's history unfolded before us. The walls seemed to bleed memories of past horrors. Specters of tortured souls drifted past, their mournful wails filling the air. Each room we entered revealed a chilling tableau of torment and despair. Finally, we reached a chamber at the heart of the mansion. The room was adorned with arcane symbols, and a pulsating darkness emanated from the center. There, a menacing presence took form, a towering, shadowy figure, a demon incarnate. "Leave this place," it boomed, its voice reverberating through our souls. "This is my domain, and you trespass at your peril." We were frozen in terror, but something within me snapped. The duty of an officer coursed through my veins, and I raised my weapon, firing rounds into the monstrous entity. It shrieked in agony, dissipating into a whirlwind of shadows, and the room returned to an eerie calm. But our respite was brief. The very walls seemed to converge on us, closing in with malevolence. The mansion itself was alive, and it sought to consume us. Desperate, we ran through the twisting corridors, but they shifted and changed, trapping us in an endless maze. As panic set in, I remembered the woman we had rescued. She had a knowledge of the mansion's history, and she might hold the key to our salvation. We retraced our steps and found her cowering in the same corner where we had first encountered her. "We need your help," I implored. "Do you know how to stop this?" She nodded, her voice trembling. "There's a hidden room. It contains a relic, a dagger that can banish the evil that haunts this place. Follow me." With her guidance, we navigated through the shifting maze and reached the hidden room. The dagger lay on a pedestal, surrounded by protective runes. I carefully picked it up, feeling its power course through me. Armed with the dagger, we returned to the chamber at the heart of the mansion. The malevolent presence returned, but this time, we were ready. With a surge of courage, I thrust the dagger into the pulsating darkness. The mansion convulsed, as if in agony, and the entity let out a deafening scream before dissipating into nothingness. The mansion itself began to crumble, its walls crumbling into dust. We raced to escape its collapsing grasp, narrowly making it out just as the structure collapsed in on itself, leaving behind a pile of rubble and a cloud of eerie dust. As we stood in the moonlit night, we watched the mansion's remains fade away, as if it had never existed. The curse had been broken, and the evil that had plagued Hollowbrook Mansion for centuries was no more. In the days that followed, the town of Hollowbrook was forever changed. The locals began to see the town in a new light, no longer haunted by its dark past. Officer Sarah Harris and I had faced the supernatural and emerged victorious, but the memory of that harrowing night would haunt our dreams for the rest of our lives. And so, the legend of the Hollowbrook Mansion became a tale of bravery and triumph, a testament to the power of duty and the human spirit in the face of unspeakable horrors. But one thing was clear: Hollowbrook would never be the same again, and neither would we.